but we try to find them playmates. If they choose, they don't have to have a playmate. Their playmate can be a human. And that is something that we encourage. We have very few volunteers, but we have a full staff. And these people work around the clock. We are a true 24/7 operation, 365. And so our staff will get into the pool. They'll play with the tennis balls. They'll help them learn how to swim. Some dogs don't learn how to swim. We can help them. And so as far as pool time and running around that pool, yeah, of course we have to do it in some shifts because our capacity is 100 dogs. And we always find ourselves somewhere between 80 and 100 dogs. So we kind of have to maneuver that around a little bit. But let me tell you something. They are having a ball.
You must go through a lot of towels.
We go through a lot of towels. We go through a lot of dishes. We do about 300 dishes a day. We have a commercial dishwasher. We have a hospital-sized commercial washer and dryer. And then in each building, we have commercial washers and dryers. So yes, the washers and dryers are going all the time.
It's a good thing you have staff and volunteers. And you'll have to excuse me. I'm staying with 3 little Yorkies, and every now and then they bark.
I wouldn't expect anything less.
I wanted to ask you, you had mentioned that you find some dogs that, you go to some of the rescues and you get some dogs that are really down on their luck. But do you get dogs by surrender where people have to surrender their dogs? Do you get some that way too?
Yes. And that's always very, very sad because in many cases, I was going to say in many cases it's a dog that has lived in a home for quite a while. But there's a myriad of reasons of why people surrender dogs. Sometimes they're living in a facility, in a home, and then they have to move, and then all of a sudden there is a weight restriction, so they have to turn in their dogs. Sometimes a dog becomes the pawn in a divorce, and we have several of those dogs up there. In the beginning of a divorce, I want the dog. No, I want the dog. No, I want the dog. I don't want the dog at all. That's about how it goes. And so guess what? The dogs hopefully find their way to Dante's Den where they really will be loved and taken care of. And so, yes, we go and we get dogs, and dogs are very definitely surrendered to us.
Well, I wanted to ask you, it must be hard for some dogs, especially older ones, to leave what they've known for so long and transition to a new place. I know that some dogs that I sit for have a really hard time with me being there instead of mom and dad. They're like, who are you, and where's mom and dad, and why are you in my house? And and they are even in their own home, but you get dogs that are taken out of everything they know. So what do you do to help them relax and feel safe?
There's one word: love. When they are left with us, they are picked up, of course, except for the larger dogs. They are cuddled. They are hugged. They are told how much they are loved and how much we are so happy they are there. And, if people think that that's a little crazy, oh, yeah, you're talking to a dog. They really understand. Let me tell you something. These dogs pick up on your emotions. They pick up on your body language. And they know that now that they are in a different situation, nothing bad is going to happen to them. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that these things happen. I think the most heart-wrenching ones are those dogs that start to get a little bit older. And people don't realize most dogs live an average of 10 to 15 years. It depends upon the breed, the health, and the genetics. But you know what? You don't bring a dog in and surrender a dog because Well, they're 8 years old and the dog just got too old and I don't want to take care of it and I don't want the medical problems.
Oh, I know.
We've had that happen time and time and time again. And you know what even breaks your heart more? When they start to walk out of the door and they turn around and they say, "Oh, by the way, do you have any puppies today?"
Oh, no.
And it breaks your
Oh.
heart. But guess what? Once they surrender their dog, they go on a list and they are not going to get a puppy from Dante's Den.
I was going to say, I'm sure you did not give them a puppy.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Oh. So tell me, once the dog is settled in, what is a day like in the life of a dog?
Well, at Dante's, of course, they do have a lot of freedom. And as I told you, we are a 24/7 operation. So we work on shifts. And so our daytime shift comes in at 6 o'clock in the morning. And the first thing they do, of course, is they open up their doors and out they go. In some cases, they want to just lay on their porches, which is fine. Or others, they just want to get into their backyard areas, and they have a number of them that they can run around and they can do their morning constitutional. And then they come back and they rest. We're very cognizant of dogs running around, very, very active, and then wanting to eat. You need to have downtime, especially with the larger dogs. You don't want to have bloat because, of course, bloat is a killer. And so we let the dogs rest for about a half hour or so while we're preparing their breakfast. Now, a lot of them, we give them great food. We give them, in fact, I don't know if I can plug this, but we give them Royal Canin food. Why? Because we like the supplements that are already built into the food, and they have breed specific. So, for example, we have German Shepherds up there. Well, the German Shepherds get the breed specific German Shepherd food. They wolf it down like there's no tomorrow. And in many cases, they don't want dry food. So we have wet food and we combine it together. They eat their breakfast, then they rest again. Then they go out for their morning exercise. Well, that morning exercise may be a swim in the pool, chasing a frisbee, taking a walk. Now, of course, in this very, very hot weather that we have, we only walk them early in the morning and later at night. During the day, they're in air conditioning. They're just loving it. And then, of course, we give them treats throughout the day. We don't give them the so-called junk food. We do give them very good treats, and then we bring them out again. Now, in between, however, we have staff, and the staff go in, and they hold them, and they hug them, and they talk to them. Some of them actually like them to, they want to read to them, and they fall asleep in their lap. And those are the beautiful moments that we have. And then, of course, into the early evening, we start the process again for dinner. And they have their dinner. And once again, they go out and they rest. And then they run around between 7 and 9 o'clock. We can do that now because it's light during those hours. And they go for the last time. And they go running around and they have a great time. And then they go in. And then we know that we've had a wonderful day when we walk out and we hear a lot of snoring. It's a great sign.
They may not want to ever leave there.
I will tell you that some of our dogs, everybody says because they get a sanctuary confused with a rescue. A rescue is looking for a forever home. A sanctuary keeps the dogs healthy and safe. And, if they say, well, they're looking for their forever home, well, they have a home. They have a home with us. And if you really stop to look at what Dante's Den offers, most of us have to work. Most of us have other activities during the day. So on an average, your own dog will be away from you for about 8 to 10 hours a day. Our dogs are administered 24 hours a day. They get a lot of attention.
Oh, that's wonderful. I hate to say this, but we are out of time, Marsha. But the good news is that
Okay.
you are going to come back for a second interview. And in that interview, I invite everybody to come back and listen to that because we are going to talk about all the great programs that you offer for the different, you have a variety of programs. So for now, what is the best way for someone to contact you?
Well, obviously, we have a website, and it's called DONTE'S.org. And Dante is spelled Dontes. He was named after my husband, Don. And then, of course, you can call us at area code 941-219-3730. We're there.
All right. Well, thank you, Marsha, and I'll be talking to you again soon.
Thanks so much.
If you have any questions or comments about this show, please contact me at chaseandtails@yahoo.com. Thank you for listening to Society Bites Radio. And remember that I am here to share my passion for pet parents, professional pet sitters, and products and services that benefit both.